live.
Awesome. Well, hello everyone. This is Rahul and Isaiah from Rogue Robot Studios, and we are continuing our video foray into the internationally acclaimed MOBA, League of Legends. And today we're going to be watching one of our games that we've recorded, and kind of delving into the roles of each lane and how champions interact in that lane, and how League of Legends overall can be used to teach cooperative experimental design. So without further ado, let's get into the action. Isaiah, why don't you take us off?
Alright, so this is a silver level ranked game, which is not like, it's not LCS or anything, but it's good enough that we can definitely follow the way that laning phase works and team phase works, and we'll talk about those as they come up. We're watching it in double speed for a little bit, but I would be slowing it down and speeding it up as important things happen. Right now we have two jungle camps happening. Both teams are subsequently taking, this is Gromp, oh no, this is Gromp. And that is Craig's, I believe. They've changed a lot of the names recently. Not a jungler, personally.
No worries, no worries. So just for those who are not aware, jungle is a means for certain characters, certain champions to begin to level up. As you are aware, a League of Legends match starts at level 1 and usually typically goes and extends to level 18, level 18 being the level cap. And the objective during that time is for both teams to start to begin to power up their champions by gaining gold, by taking objectives, or taking out adversaries in the jungle that are there, as well as killing each other. And it looks like that's going to happen relatively soon. We got an amazing top lane going on over here.
Ironically, his name is Solo Zed only, but he is playing Renekton against a Jace, and he is a very good Renekton. I mean, we're going to watch this. I'm going to slow it down just a bit. This is live speed right here. And he ignites and dashes out for a really clean first blood. So League of Legends has different types of attacks. That was a DOT attack, or a damage over time. That would be Ignite, which is not a common pick for top lane. Probably why Jace died, but a good pick on Renekton's part.
So top lane is primarily reserved for certain champions in the camps of tanky champs or fighter champs. These are characters who have been optimized and created for damage output as well as damage resistance and health. There are 16 main stats in League of Legends, all of which have definitive base stats that vary and are unique to champions. And now we have a zero in on bot lane.
Yeah.
Isaiah, break us down what's happening right here.
So right now we have a Misfortune, which is this champion right here, and a support Sonas, who is a healer, against another healer, Tarek, and another ADC, Ezreal. And that's a very common dynamic here on bot lane. You have damage over time, attack damage carry, is what we call them. They really just are all about damage output, and they have a backup, essentially, someone trying to keep them alive in all the fights. This is also a common sight of ganks. Junglers will come down here and try to get a first turret bonus very often in bot lane, simply because there's more people down here. Bot lane tends to be where the early game aggro is worked its way out.
Basically what that means is this is a common point of contention, and this particular lane requires a great deal of skill and understanding of the larger game in general, especially when it comes to proper team coordination. There needs to be a lot of communication between a support player and their ADC. Trust me, I know. Having played one several times during the course of the series and getting acquainted with the intricacies of working this lane. It also requires a fair deal of finesse. And it's a great opportunity to start to understand what it is about a champion that makes them relevant and special within their own area.
Absolutely. And this specific bot lane, all of these champions, really, especially the healers, are going to be extremely relevant in the team fights. And that's not something you see every time. Some people pick champions specifically for the laning phase.
Bot lane is a great, fantastic place to showcase how important farming is to the overall playstyle of the game, as well as how players are able to progress and the rate of progression. Farming relates to those little red guys you see in everyone's lane called minions. Minions are a primary resource of gold, which is the way the primary currency in which people use to upgrade their champions over the course of the game by buying gear over at the shop. If you can take us in on the first back. Anytime something goes first.
Okay, yeah, I'll follow back. Ooh. That interaction right there was horrible on Sona's part. But Misfortune got a kill out of it. So yeah, let's see. Misfortune's going to back right now. Let's follow her. And her item list is over here at the bottom. I can't really see it. She just bought BF Sword and 2 long swords, Boots Speed, and a Biscuit of Rejuvenation. That was a good back for her. Those are a lot of items. Traditionally, you're not buying that many items on a back. It looks like she's building an Essence Reaver, which is an odd pick for an ADC, but you know. Essence Reaver, so this is another aspect of League of Legends that's really important. Cost effectiveness isn't just about the items you buy, it's about the way those items interact with other items. Misfortune is going to be buying Essence Reaver, and that's going to give her mana based upon her crit strikes. However, she has no crit strike right now. That's why I would say it's an odd pick for a first item. A bad interaction.
Absolutely. So, going off of that, this is an important thing to take into account in regards to gaining mastery of this game, understanding how your character actually builds, what items are relevant for them, what items are useful in certain scenarios, even prescribed item trees based on the overarching metagame may differ from champion to champion depending on who else they're facing in a lane.
That was the first turret, bonus gold right there.
Taking objectives is another part of strategic play in this game, and it also requires careful team coordination. Taking an objective too late or too early can dynamically change the balance and favor of a lane from one side to the other. So sometimes even taking a turret too early may put your team in a bad position if they're not actually able to accessibly capitalize on the taking of that turret and actually push forward.
Exactly. Yeah, it's something that is not understood at this level of gameplay usually. Silver is more focused on the interaction between champions. However, the mechanical interactions between the infrastructure on the map and the minions is extremely important when you're getting into higher level gameplay, which unfortunately we might not see too many examples of during this. This is a Drake. Just to clarify, it's an objective. This is a Mountain Drake. You can see that symbol here. It'll give the red team more damage to turrets and large monsters, which is important actually. It's a good pick on their part. We'll go ahead and do that at this time.
So just kind of going off that, here we are in mid lane where we're starting some team fighting interaction. You're seeing doubling up on single characters. So as you're aware, at this point there is going to be some lane migration, so you're going to see players moving back and forth from their lane into other lanes despite their roles as individual champions. That is also a strategic element as far as map control is concerned. Here you have people taking care of vision control. That's
yeah, absolutely. I was about to say that. Speaking of map control, you saw that ward being cleared away by Taric and Ezreal here. It's a specific type of ward. There's different types of wards in League. Specifically, there are, if I'm trying to remember, there are 3. There are ward trinkets that only last 1 minute. There are blue trinket wards, or long-range alterations, that will last longer but are visible to the enemy, and they only have 1 health bar, and there are pink wards that have 6 health bars, I believe, and will also last as long until the enemy takes them.
The objective of these wards are sight capabilities. It's very important for a team to have lines of sight and to have as much vision coverage as possible, because basically what it means is unless you have sight on your immediate champion or your minion wave, that is the group of minions currently occupying a lane and moving about within a lane, those are the only areas of the map that are actually lit up. If you notice in the bottom right, you have a lot of dark space in the middle. That's mostly the jungle. Jungle typically has no areas of sight unless they are warded or your champion is typically moving through them, which presents a great opportunity for either team to take advantage of, especially when it comes to lane migration, because they can use it to sneak up and outflank their enemies.
Speaking of vision control, that was a good prediction on Jace's part. He did not have vision of that bush when he was able to attack Renekton there. As you can see too, that it's an important thing that is understood at this level of gameplay, is that being behind in kills like this Jace does not mean that you don't want to use the map control strategy. Ooh. Asana's ins and outs are a little painfully fast there sometimes. That's another thing it's League is a dance for sure. Back and forth. Here, I'm going to slow this interaction down just a bit. So we can see this. We have 3 blue people trying to hold 1 turret, and we have 2 people from the red team. And as you can see, it's going back and forth a lot. And I don't know how to put it. Are we going to elaborate on that a little bit? Sort of the dance strategies there.
Absolutely. So League of Legends breaks down into being able to predict and accurately mirror your opponent's moves and try to retaliate in a way that they don't necessarily see coming, in a way that's advantageous to you within the space of your lane. So this can mean guiding your minion wave up into a turret and then strategically doubling back in order to better gain control of the lane, so you can get more visibility out of your opponents. But you also want to make sure you don't lose objectives, just like blue team is about to lose their objective right here. They just had their mid lane turret destroyed, and this opens up mid lane, which is a popular point of contention, especially when it comes to team fights. It's one of the most direct paths to your nexus as well as your enemy's nexus.
Absolutely. The inhibitor here in mid lane is often the first and extremely important objective taken when you're trying to attack an enemy's nexus. It's the point of entry, so to speak. As you can see here, blue team is yet to take one of red's turrets at all, and red has cleared all 3, I believe, of
From their outer turrets. Yep.
Yeah. So that's outer level, basically, of the blue base gone. And here's another team fight. Well, I don't know how to call that a team fight. That was pretty short there.
It's a fast instruction.
Yes. Although it is back and forth, as you can see, Azir nearly just got destroyed by Renekton, but as soon as Renekton was out of his, as soon as Azir was out of Renekton's range, the tides turned. So, and that's part of the dance, is you have to understand that a powerful melee champion like Renekton can't always kill someone like Azir unless they get close, or they'll pay for it with something like that.
Yep. In with 1 kill, out with another.
Exactly. Speed this up a bit. Let's get to some more interesting team fights mid lane. Looks like we've got Graves, Misfortune, and Sona grouping up. Nope, Graves decided to go back into the jungle.
Isaiah, why don't you walk us through what a well in the know player would do as far as their skills and masteries are concerned? How does that impact their gameplay?
So you're talking about upgrade paths.
Yes, upgrade
So
paths.
I am this Sona. Spoiler alert, this is me. That's why I'm slightly critical. So Sona is specifically here, this Sona is playing healer Sona. So their Keystone Mastery is based upon giving the stats to champions that they are healing currently. Which is why it's good for in-the-moment interactions in team fights, but bad for damage over time. So less, DPS, damage per second, as I think most people say in League of Legends. But more heals. A lot more heals. Also, a lot of mana regeneration in this Sona's kit, as you can see with the Chalice of Harmony and a Eye of the Watchers. Oh, and a Forbidden Idol. Yeah, tons of mana regeneration. Probably 15 mana regeneration per second at this point.
So, for Sona's particular kit, how would you emphasize the point of mana regeneration, and how would you be able to relate that
Spam heals.
to the progression of the game?
The progression of the game?
Yes.
So, Sona's heals give increased also armor and magic resistance. So Sona is trying to maximize on that keystone by just pressing W all the time. In those fights, that's going to give her team a much needed defensive advantage.
Now, it sounds like you're doing all this math in your head. Would you
Yeah.
say that's accurate?
I've looked at the. I mean, I am that Sona. I've looked at the stats. That's generally considered a really good way to play Sona, especially when you're playing support. If you were playing, top or mid, which that's not how you do it whatsoever. So the math is based upon your role in the team fights, not necessarily what's most cost effective as like a generic league player.
So would you say it pretty much goes without saying that League of Legends is a game that takes into account active calculations as well as real-time positioning as far as your ability to understand where you are in relation to everyone else, all of the other components of the game, including your fellow teammates and how they relate to each other in a given instance.
That's a mouthful. But yeah, definitely. That's exactly what I was trying to get at, is that the calculations aren't purely mathematical. They're a combination of mathematical and strategic. Because where you are on the map and where you are in the team fights is just an important factor as, say, how much that will cost and what it does. just to clarify real quick what was going on there, that was a Baron capture, which is going to give an aura buff to all of the minions around any champion on the red team at this point in time. It's a huge advantage. They've already taken the point of entry, as I mentioned it. This is probably going to be the last major team fighting stage in this game. Is that safe to say?
Absolutely. Why would you say that red gained the advantage?
It would appear that red was better at taking objectives, so they captured the first dragon, and it looks like the second dragon. I wasn't paying that much attention to dragons, but they captured all the turrets. Blue has taken 0 turrets at this point in time. And since turrets give team gold and map control and vision, I would say that's where they lost. It had nothing to do with individual champions fighting other individual champions.
What would you say Blue could do better next time?
Yi focused a lot on trying to shut down a bot lane that was Misfortune and Sona, which are pretty defensive, when he should have focused on trying to deal with the beast that is Renekton and contesting those dragons. Yi could easily have stopped Graves from getting dragons. He's an assassin. Graves is DPS. So I would say that a big part of this match was Yi not fulfilling his role to the fullest. It's kind of appropriate that I was talking about that as he was, there trying to meditate under turret against, 4 enemies. So there you go. That is a Silver League game in a very quick synopsis.
So victory is entirely dependent, just to reiterate, victory is entirely dependent on a team's ability to effectively communicate and understand their relative position to each other, as well as the advantages and disadvantages of their champion at any moment's notice.
Absolutely. And that is how Red Team won, was their coordination concerning capturing objectives while the enemies were out of position.
Well, would you say that getting to this level requires a lot of experimentation?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm the Sona player, right? I've been playing hundreds of games of Sona before I decided on a specific build pattern that I felt was appropriate for the type of team fighting that I do. And the truth is that is specific to me. I have a build that works for me, and that's specific to every individual based on the way they play. So there's no way to think of playing League of Legends at this level without that level of experimentation.
What is it about League of Legends that appeals to a player such as yourself?
As a support, it's the fact that there's such active gameplay. And a lot of MOBAs, specifically playing a healer, is kind of a sit in the back, heal, sit in the back, heal. Whereas in League of Legends, that dance is so critically important and mentally challenging that it keeps me on edge.
Would you consider the fact that there's so many champions available to players, as well as each one of those champions having their own unique abilities, their unique play styles, and having such a complex metagame, would you feel that it affects why League of Legends is such a popular game?
I think it affects the replayability. So if I was able to sit down, say that build was the perfect build and it worked against every other champion, that's impossible to say in League. However, in a slightly less advanced MOBA, I would have solved the problem of the MOBA, so to speak. Whereas League of Legends, there's never going to be a correct answer.
Yes. In regards to solving the problem, how do you personally feel like League of Legends could be used to solve problems?
Oh, wow. I mean, I have solved a lot of communication issues with my siblings through playing League of Legends with them, if that says anything about it. I think team dynamics is something that I have learned a lot. I've been playing this for years. Being able to interact with your group was very difficult for me for a very long time. I'd be lying if I pretended like this didn't help with that.
All right. Well, there you have it, folks. That has been our second episode diving into the world of League of Legends, looking at specific elements of League of Legends that can be used to teach cooperative experimental design. So we just took a look at a match just to kind of get into the ins and outs of how League of Legends is played. Thank you, Isaiah.
Thank you, Roll.
Absolutely. And we hope that you guys continue to join us in the adventure as we take a look at more video games here on Video Game ER.